this weekend. So
there you go.
You just can't go places looking any kind of way
you gotta fix up, look sharp,
at least a little bit. So I line my beard up a little bit, try to do something different with that. Got a little taper on the sides and back. So yeah, got it together a little bit. Feeling good, feeling great, feeling good. And people are married, and yeah, that's that.
I was kind of hoping you could clean me up when I was up there touring the skyline.
If only. Here's the thing, and maybe this is going to have to happen next year. Maybe the roles will reverse. I'm going to travel to Austin. I'll line you up.
Did you say Boston?
That too, because my plan is at some point to be able to go see Gabe and the dummies. Shout out to Zach and Kyle.
You need to let me know on that because I'm not too far from them.
And Cotillo, all you guys, it'll be a huge trip.
Cotillo lives 20 minutes from me.
That's what I'm saying. And
he never comes out though. He never comes out of the basement, out of the bathtub.
All right, so that's room, that's pretty accurate because I even sent him a message. We have a Beantown Brawl draft in Boston with like Pete Overzet, Pete Davidson, like Kevin the FF engineer, a bunch of people.
Margoza.
Yep. So we have a lot of people. So I was like, hey, Cotillo, if you want to get together on a Sunday and watch football, like I sent him a message like a month ago, and he's like, yeah, that'd be great. Blah blah blah. Nothing. I was like, really? You gonna do me like that?
Yep. He came over to my house.
Wow.
Not cool.
Oh, bird.
That he did.
Yeah, that's not cool.
And he's pretty much when he's in Cincinnati, he's staying like I don't know, probably 15 minutes from me, and I've only heard from him once.
I've only heard from him that night too. He's
that's cold.
I will say, like, I think if he was home, he doesn't leave his house. I do know that. Like,
he has a nice house. It's in a nice neighborhood.
It's just because he's because he has to travel so much. Like he's told me that he doesn't even use his Patriots tickets all the time anymore. Sometimes he lets other people use those.
All right, I'm bored talking about Kevin Cotillo. Like what? we were going somewhere. We had direction, and then it got sleepy. So we're back. We're bringing it back. We're bringing it back in. It's the open bar. Hello.
Live?
Yeah, we've been John Bosch. We've been live, man. Come on.
There's a little thing in the top corner that says live for 2.5 minutes.
I'm not looking at that. I'm trying to figure out this trade here.
You're trying to fart around with trades with McDowell.
You're trying to trade for Joe Mixon when you have
Juju
Smith.
over here.
Dude, that's the snooziest trade ever.
Do not put that on me. I would never trade
that was
for
so
Joe Mixon.
interesting.
God awful. Never trade for Mixon. Ugh.
Never. All right. Well, gee whiz, golly gee williker. We're live. We're here. It's the open bar. It's 9:30 Eastern ish. Very heavy on the ish this week. We have a surprise guest for you tonight. We're not sure if he or she will show up, but stay tuned because you just never know what will happen on the open bar. It might just be the first episode of November. In fact, it is because J Mike and I, we honestly just don't care about like in season. Like we would much rather just pod during the off season. We have way more time. We don't have to manage teams. We can just like watch the combine for 2 months.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. In season potting, the worst.
It's so bad. I hate it. I think we won't tell each other, but we definitely hate it.
the open bar off season is easily heads and shoulders above open bar in season. And it's not because of our guests. Our guests are always awesome. People that rock with us are always fantastic. But by the time we get to week 10, right now, this is just there's something about the grind. It's just like, man, I really love getting in front of it, and I still love listening to podcasts.
Hey, let's talk. We're gonna talk about Jeff Driscoll tape today, right?
Yes. All the Driscoll.
That's where we're at.
Oh man, half the NFL teams have used a backup quarterback at this point to start a game.
It seems kind of like every season there's just one positional player that just gets obliterated, and it appears to be quarterback this year. Even the players that are starting, Jared Goff.
Sucks.
I mean, he did bring us a Blake Bortles sighting.
That was part of the game plan, J Mike, or so we've been told.
I'm ready for Blake Bortles to take the Rams on a deep playoff run.
Oh
only to break their heart.
Revenge on the Patriots, his revenge game. In way too many ways.
He's like, they beat me in the AFC Championship game when I was a Jaguar. Now I'm going to get him in the Super Bowl.
You talk about a night that was wildly disappointing. I had friends over. We had just watched, we were getting ready to watch the games for that day. Jacksonville's up. I'm loving life, and to watch the demise in the second half of that. That was one of the harder things to watch, and that was when it solidified how much I hate Blake Bortles. Straight up,
totally fair.
Sorry, Bobby Koch. Nothing but love for you. But that's when Blake Bortles officially ripped my heart out, stomped on it, and I hated him since then.
Good segue for old Bobby. Shout out to Bobby for raising money for making an exquisite mustache on his face and taking pictures and looking like a shoe ball man himself. Hopefully not RIP, man. Come on, Foles. What are you doing, buddy? But yeah, shout out to Bobby. Shout out to serviceable QBs. Remember that if you are a serviceable QB too, then you have to be between 20 to 28 or so.
That's about right.
Year. That's about right.
That's the range.
Okay. Yeah. I wasn't sure about the Webster dictionary definition there, but hey, anyway, we're live. J Mike, how I know we've been just kind of like, jibber jabbering, but how are you, my friend?
Fantastic. Like I said, I got a haircut over the weekend, feeling good. Like as I said before,
so icy.
Last week, and I don't really want to be rude about this or braggadocious, if you will, but last week celebrated a birthday. That was pretty fantastic. I was able to spend some time with the family, even though I did have to work. But your boy's getting old. These gray hairs in my beard just keep multiplying, and
I've seen them.
And 34 feels like 50. So I don't know what's going on here, but besides all that, things are going okay, man.
How come I have all of your kids' birthdays in my phone, but I don't have yours?
Because you're Uncle Gabe, and I got what. That's what brothers do. They forget the ones that brought them. You know what I'm saying? They brought them along.
Gabe Gearing is for the children.
I'm so sorry, dude.
Much like Wu-Tang.
Happy belated birthday. That's the nice thing about saying happy belated is you're never late.
Hey, Brand, always on time.
Always on time. Facts. Happy birthday, J Mike. I'm so sorry, dude.
Appreciate it, man. It's all
open couplet apology to you. We have some guests here tonight as well. We're waiting on our fifth. We never know. You just never know, man. That's just beautiful about this. But in the meantimes, we got Mr. Doug Eddie Doug, the boss, the father. How you doing?
What it do, man? I'm good. Just getting back to normal life. Wife was off from work yesterday for the holiday. Yeah, just sat in the dealership for 3 hours getting a recall done. Then you need rear brakes, and that costs you like $500, and you're like, living the dream. So running around with the baby, going to a chiropractor, coming home, doing a dishwasher, laundry, just keeping it real over here. That's all I can say.
The pool is closed.
The pool is closed. That shit'll be open in April though. So when we have Fantasy Fest at the Eddie household, it's going to be on like Donkey Kong over here. That's all I'm saying. Live drafts, beer, burgers and dogs. Yeah.
Just give me the address, man. I'm making I have a world tour to
with Muhammad, my man. I heard.
Yeah, exactly. For the first 5 months of 2020. So you just send me that Addy, and we'll get Addy.
I like it.
Another one. We got probably the most recent person I've seen in real life in the FF community, as they say. The
IRL.
Bosch. IRL. How are you, brother?
I'm doing fine. That was fun, Gabe, when you stopped by, and we got to go drinking around Cincinnati. I'm always up for a little day drinking. That was a blast.
It was. Did you ever fill up your growler with that one beer from that one place?
I have not seen it on tap at the party store that I fill up at. As soon as it is, I will certainly. I think that was the winter trip that I was talking about, right?
Yes, that was it.
Yes, that's the one. I bought some cans of it.
Okay.
But so they're up in my fridge. Consider bringing them down for tonight, but
Hey,
gotta work tomorrow. We'll see how the night goes. I might have to take a little run up if I run out of my water.
Come on.
When is Bosch been a stickler for the? Oh, wait a second. Never mind. All right, just kidding.
Those rare days I gotta wake up and go to work. I actually have to wake up and go to work. Ugh.
For those that don't know, obviously a couple weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago or ish, Gabe came through Cincinnati, and we had the pleasure of going and chopping it up at John Bosch's house, watch a Sunday night football game, and he essentially allowed us to sample some of his finest from his deepest and darkest fridge in the Bosch estate, and there were several beers that I could not pronounce the names of. However, the ABV, as the kids call it, was quite potent, and if you weren't careful, you might lose a limb fooling around trying to sip with Bosch.
Oh, a very potent Hefeweizen.
Oh my gosh, they were. I mean, a couple of them were really good, but it was all the way up.
What are we talking? Like 9%?
Is ABV a thing? Is that really what the kids are saying? Man, I'm out of touch.
No, not at all.
I know.
It's just a.
Yes.
Oh.
IBUs are the more hip thing to be knowledgeable of.
Ibuprofen? What?
Yes.
Okay.
You know what an IBU is? Internet browser utilization.
You got it, dads.
Nice.
All right.
I think they were somewhere right around that double-digit threshold, Doug. To answer your question,
they were feisty.
Strong.
Yes,
Nice.
and they were sneaky
strong.
too, though. They were sneaky. There were a couple that tasted, to a light beer drinker you could consider it maybe like a 6 to 7%, but those boys were heavy.
They were good.
I'm like, Bosch, can you do realize I have to drive home, right? So you can't keep bringing me all of this.
It's like we got a whole other quarter.
We
got a whole fourth quarter to go.
Allow me to reintroduce my.
Wow, I'm here.
As promised, the open bar has been waiting for almost 15 minutes.
Finally,
just to see who that fifth person was on the
look
show.
Look at this mustache just glistening over here on the open bar.
Movember, baby. Without further ado,
international bitterness units, as you guys were talking about with those IBUs.
Is that what that is?
That's what it is.
I don't drink that shit.
Me.
Finally, I got my son to sleep. It has been
Did you give him
a battle.
Was it the frying pan?
So, wow, I want to cheers to everybody on the open bar here. I have Douglas and I's favorite beverage of choice here in the fall. This is apple cider with spiced rum, heated. I like a heated one. So I'm going to take a sip.
Cold.
I like it raw. Get it?
Oh, baby.
Yeah. I almost put some rum because he was just basically just would not go to sleep. I almost put some rum on the end of his pacifier. I was really thinking about it. It was pretty much since about 7:30. This guy has been just having a field day. He's pretty much just been talking to us, having the time of his life. And I was like, hey, man, we're getting close to recording time. It's 9 o'clock. It's time for bed. So yeah, this is what I deal with every Tuesday with Douglas as we try to fight the sleep over here in the Trotta household, as I have 2 children, one going through sleep regression at 3.5 years old and a 6-month-old who basically makes up his own sleep schedule. So
yeah,
regression.
So I'm basically a walking
like
billboard.
Regression.
I'm a walking advertisement to not have children. So so basically, don't have kids, everybody out there, or you'll never be able to record on a podcast ever.
Sorry.
All right. Let's have a winter cocktail draft real quick. Sounds like we have the 101 off the board already with a what is there a name for that, or you just call it hot apple cider with spiced rum?
Yeah, I think that's what we go with. Yeah.
Okay.
It's not. It doesn't sound great. It doesn't sound great. It doesn't flow.
Doesn't sound terrible either.
It doesn't roll off the tongue, right?
No.
For all the quick wit that Doug has specifically,
Yeah.
I would have expected some sort of alliteration, some sort of rhyme scheme, something.
I almost made full disclosure. I almost made a very
kiss.
I almost made a
Can
very
I get a winter's
explicit
kiss,
joke.
please?
I almost made a very explicit joke, but I don't know if it would be too insensitive.
Do you mind if I get a winter's kiss right here?
I was almost gonna say
mine. I like mine heated.
I was almost gonna say, guys, do you know what my favorite kind of cider is?
What is it, Doug?
Yeah, that was a long pause. I didn't know if my video paused. I have no idea. I thought my internet stopped working.
I'm gonna guess it's in.
I'm not gonna say it. It's kind of it's too explicit.
But you went. All
right, fine. My
like
favorite kind of
80%.
cider is a Cummins cider. Okay,
I knew
that's
it.
the joke. That's the joke.
That's insane. You should have never said that.
Wow, we're canceled now. The
That's
open
the
bar
joke.
will not be back next week.
Wrong. You should have stopped while you were ahead.
Gabe, can you please?
I never stopped.
That's what he did.
Can you please shine a little bit of light on
Won't
on
stop.
Kamish's last comment about what we should call the drink?
Yeah.
Winter's Kiss, I think, is pretty amazing, by the way.
So if you're not
Skyline,
in
really?
the live YouTube chat or Periscope, whatever, wherever you're joining us, we got live comments coming through. Come and join the
Spice,
show.
Skyline.
We'll throw you up on the board. Kamish McGriff, our guy, our Deltron Deluxe. Spicy Skyline Chili is possibly the name of this cocktail.
A little bit of cinnamon, a little bit of mystery.
It's true.
I don't know how I feel about that name.
I'm not a big fan of that name. I kind of liked mine. I'm not gonna lie.
Winter's Kiss.
I don't know. I was just fucking.
Winter's
I just like
about,
because
like,
J-Mike almost spit out his drink when I said it. That's why I think it's just great. 'Cause
No,
if you
I'm
order
sorry.
that in front of your boys, you're out. It's a Friday night. You got girls around you with your boys. They're like, "Yeah, I'm gonna take I'll take a whiskey and ginger. Hey, Trotter, what do you want? Oh, yo, grab me a Winter's Kiss, heated."
Please and thank you. You said that right as Deltron was making that comment, and I about spit my drink on my computer. It was doubly good.
Well, do we want to, or you want to talk football? What we're sort of here for.
No, I want to get back to the winter drinks.
All right.
I was excited.
I got one.
Okay, well, hold your horses. We haven't picked
I
our
got
order
one.
yet.
Mhm.
Hold on.
Yeah,
It
I got
might
an order
not be available at the 105, which is where you're.
It'll be there. It's gonna slide. It's gonna slide. It's Rashad Penny. I got it.
Yeah, that boy's not touching a hot drink ever again.
I don't know, man. That rookie draft, you went like top 3.
So, Trotta, you okay with your 101, or would you like to reselect some? You can have the 101. We can move you around. What do you want?
I'll take the 101. I will gladly take the 101.
All right.
Always a safe bet to take the 101,
Okay.
especially in the 2020 draft class.
Indeed.
So, I mean, I'll take my drink. Obviously, the name is still to be determined. We've got Spice Skyline Chili. We've got Winter's Kiss.
Yep.
I
I said apple spider, like spice.
a snowman's
Spice cider.
just
I
a tip.
like that game. Little
Yeah.
wordplay.
Sure.
You're good with the wordplay. We all know this.
Hey,
Mm.
what's a guru?
You're
do?
quite the cunning linguist.
Oh, there's 2.
He said quite.
All right.
Oh, there's
funny.
2.
I can't be stopped. I'm a machine.
All right, who's got the 102?
J Mike does. We are going counterclockwise,
just
starting from 7 p.m.
Bring me all the hot chocolate.
I was just gonna say hot cocoa. I knew you were a hot cocoa guy.
Yes, hot cocoa.
I knew it. What do you put in it though? Are you vodka?
I've never
Are
even
you
tried
vodka?
that. Interesting.
Are you
Oh,
a vodka guy? What are you? What
You
are
vodka
you?
Hey, I mean, I didn't know it was like
I
that.
like the head. I must have moved my head a lot. I didn't think I
It's
realized
Bailey's,
I
right?
tilted it so
You put
hard.
Bailey-
But-
that
Oh,
was
shit.
you took my drink, J Mike. If I was gonna go winner,
was
it was gonna be hot chocolate and Bailey's.
I
You
mean,
do
peppermint
Bailey's
drops
when you
are
do
great.
Bailey's.
Slide
Yeah.
drops.
You do
That's
Bailey's?
good,
You don't
Mosh.
do vodka?
No, I'll put
Oh,
Bailey's in it though.
Yeah,
If
Bailey's.
I want
Vodka
vodka,
tastes
I'll
good with hot
literally
chocolate.
I'll just drink vodka straight if I want to,
All
or
right.
put it in a soft drink.
Why you got to
you
show
can't
us all
Drink
out
it the
like
way
that?
God intended.
And
I don't know. I don't know if God ever intended to drink that straight from the bottle. I've gotten pretty drunk off vodka. I don't think God intended that. That's
Only
too hard.
Shvedka.
I don't know why else it would have been invented.
the key with the Baileys though is that when you add it to your hot chocolate, you don't need like the monster hot chocolate. I mean the monster marshmallows, and you don't want the like little itty bitty tiny marshmallows. You need like just a normal, smaller
You need
size,
like a medium
marshmallow.
mellow.
You're
Medium
throwing a
mellow.
curveball here. You put marshmallows in your hot chocolate still?
What?
How do you not?
Come
All
on.
right, we got
Well,
how do you-
I can't take that.
Gotta-
Is there an eject button?
I'm asking a question.
Yeah.
You're supposed to
So do
know
you
a
buy-
whole lot
Hold on.
more
Let
than
me ask this question. Do you buy the cocoa mix that has the marshmallows in it already?
God,
Oh.
no,
Or do
that's
you buy a
awful.
separate pack of
Oh.
marshmallows to put them in?
That's so gross.
The separate pack of
Yeah,
marshmallows.
separate pack of marshmallows to put them in. Okay. How about whipped cream? You put whipped cream on top?
Nah.
I'm for it.
I'll
I'm
do.
for
I
it.
do. I
Yeah.
do cinnamon. I'll put some cinnamon because I'm from Cincinnati and we put cinnamon in everything. So
Yeah.
you got to put a little cinnamon in your hot chocolate.
cinnamon.
I just wanted to get through the process. I didn't say that marshmallows in your hot cocoa is bad, which you guys all jump to. I just want to know his process. I want to know what he went through.
It was the head nod. You remember you did the
I did that.
Yeah,
I did.
you
I
look-
gotta
you
watch
look
that body
aggressive.
language. That body language. I got that Italian. I'm Italian. I'm working with my hands, my head. It's just...
103 Bosch.
Yep.
Well, you stole the only thing that I really would go to if I had to do a winter themed drink. Dude, I'll just drink beer.
Wow.
Pick one.
Beer.
Pick a, like.
What's a
you-
winter? There's
you've
winter
got
beers
one.
out there.
I'll take
Like a winter lager, Sam Adams.
I will choose not IPA as my beer. Is that allowed?
Thank you,
Very much allowed.
Bosch,
What's your favorite
John.
beer,
John, I
Bosch?
would tongue kiss you right now if I was in your house,
Oh.
just for saying not IPA, because IPA is.
I
wonder
will
if John
say,
would try to
Gabe.
sprinkle cinnamon
I
on your
did.
tongue.
I tried a couple of the New England ones that Gabe got while we were going around, and those were the New England IPAs were, I will say, more palatable.
Yep.
I'll still pass on them, but they didn't have quite that. Oh, that's disgusting.
Christmas
after I
tree
drink
taste?
it. What was that?
Well, they didn't taste like a Christmas tree.
Yeah, I guess that I've
Or
never
at least smell
tasted
like
a
one,
Christmas tree, but yeah, if that's what a Christmas tree
They
tastes like.
taste like a Christmas tree smells. That's the best way to
That's
describe it.
gin. That's
They-
gin, Doug.
No, it's IPA.
You know my favorite beer. It's Belgians. You got to give me the Belgian triples.
That's true. I didn't know that. All right.
So.
That's fine. That'll work. Doug, Eddie, Doug.
Oh, steal the draft right here at the 104.
Okay.
It's eggnog and bourbon, boys.
Oh
damn
God,
it.
that's just
God
straight
damn
vomit.
It wasn't supposed to. No.
No.
Ugh.
Listen
not
to
an
you guys
eggnog
argue
guy.
over
Yeah.
Trent Richardson. This is unbelievable.
Eggnog and
is so
bourbon.
gross.
Eggnog
Yeah,
is
I'm not-
Mike.
Eggnog is disgusting.
for
No,
2 or
no,
3
you're
months a
wrong.
year. It is so good.
I think
Throw it in
eggnog-
there
I
with
think-
pumpkin spice and burn them all to hell.
John,
we
I think
just,
eggnog
we
is
just finished
You
our
don't like
first
it.
half
You don't like a
gallon, man.
thick drink. You don't like a thick drink. It's fine.
Yeah, I don't like to chew my drinks.
You can't
No,
handle
sorry,
a thick
I'll
drink. You
pass.
can't handle a thick lady. Am I right or am I right?
Hey.
I
Put
mean,
that,
how many
put that in
seasons
your
we talking?
noggin and suck it.
Yeah, how many C's are we talking? That's
Many
that's the real
Cs.
the question here.
Hey.
I'm gonna.
It's-
My wife's home now. I'm gonna get that going for me. But the trick
I can't
is
yell.
here.
I can't yell too loud. My son's just like 10 feet away from me sleeping, you know?
Yeah.
I'll wake him up with too many C's.
It's true.
So the I don't know if you've tried this. Well, it sounds like this is just a conversation between Doug and I at this point. So you three can just go have fun elsewhere. But
We're having a
with-
blast, by
with-
the way.
yeah, with the eggnog, you can
It's
do
disgusting.
1 ounce of whiskey, 1 ounce of cognac.
Ooh.
And also semen, because that's
Uh-huh.
what eggnog is.
That's
Okay.
already too many ingredients.
So you're saying that you've tasted semen?
No, I don't have eggnog ever.
I think you just admitted that you tasted semen because you said eggnog is semen.
I've never had eggnog in my life.
Really? I call shenanigans. I think
don't-
I've seen you drink eggnog.
Now we don't know if he's
You've seen me
talking
drink
about
eggnog?
semen or
Really?
eggnog.
You're gonna
now.
go through your elephant brain over there.
Hold on. I've known you for 20 years. I think I've seen you drink eggnog before.
Yeah, but when I had it, they didn't have that ingredient in it.
What ingredient? The semen?
Oh my gosh.
All right. You can also put rum in your eggnog.
Yes.
Speaking of your apple spiced spider rum drink, you can certainly do that as well.
Rumpelstiltskin, somebody wrote in as well.
Yeah.
Rumpelstiltskin. That's
Rumple Mints, a good sub for Jaeger.
I've had Sailor Jerry in eggnog too. It's good. I can put
Sailor Jerry is a very
in anything.
underrated spiced rum, by the way.
So good.
It's very good. It's cheap, which is nice. I'm a middle shelf alcohol buyer, by the way. Whiskey, I'll go top shelf occasionally
Balling on a budget.
if I'm feeling good. But middle shelf alcohol is the place to go. Get your best bang for your buck. Like this spiced rum I have is like 90 proof, and it costs $13.99
A handle
for 750 milliliter. No,
that is cheap. What is that? Is
They don't
that's
do
on
the-
black card? Is it?
they just do it. It is. It is. It's
Black
just
card's
that cheap.
good.
It
I
is
like the
good.
black
It's
card.
good. It's $13.99 for 750. They don't do the handle. And I get 2 of them every time I go because I go through them pretty quick, especially in the
And you
fall
live in
winter
New
months.
Hampshire, so liquor is infinitely cheaper than anywhere else in New England.
This is true. This is very true.
You're in New Hampshire. Cotillo's in Boston. And
Cotillo's
Doug,
in
you're
Rhode
in Rhode Island.
No,
Okay.
Cotillo's in Rhode Island too. He's like 20 minutes from me. Kyle and Zach are in Maine.
It's bone-chillingly cold out here in New
Massachusetts
Hampshire.
is like Pete Overzet, Pat Thorman are in Mass, along with a bunch of other guys. Kevin, the FF engineers in Mass. Vermont, there is no representation for fantasy in Vermont. Connecticut's got Matt Kelly.
Isn't Matt Kelly from Vermont?
He is from Vermont, but he lives in Connecticut.
He would be a catamount.
Ooh, catamounts.
So, side note, he was always bragging about his Scott Fishbowl team, and I just blew doors on his team.
Whoopsie.
Oh shit! Here we
He's
go.
no Matt.
Oh, give him the floor.
He
Tell him how you
mentioned me
feel.
on the podcast, and he's like,
Tell him
"These
how you
teams
feel."
are undefeated. My team's so much better." Well, now my team's not undefeated, and I'm blowing doors by his team because I'm 91st overall. Thanks again. Boo.
Hey, we need that soundboard, J Mike.
Yes, well done. Perfect. Gabriel, are you gonna round us out for this draft?
Sure. I mean, I honestly haven't experimented too much in that field, but I have made a couple of cocktails that are
Aaron just told me he's in
winter
my house.
like. Say what?
This guy Aaron says I can see New Hampshire from my house. I think he's looking in my window right now.
Yeah.
Hey Aaron, what's up, man?
AB.
Aaron, what do you think about the new paint I put in this room? You like it? Think it goes?
Because eggnog and hot cocoa are the go-to for me as far as like warm, or I don't know, warm feeling cocktails. But I made this pecan infused bourbon last year and made an old fashioned out of it, and that was
that's
really
so
good and wintry. So
If you can get an old fashioned done right,
pecan old fashioned. So
there's nothing
I
better.
had a maple infused old fashioned over the weekend, and it
Also
was
good,
just it was way too strong on the liquor end. It was not overly enjoyable.
oh, they ain't doing it right, son.
real quick, pecan or pecan?
Oh,
I'm team
Pecan.
pecan.
I'm also pecan.
Yes. All right.
I also like Samsung.
Did we just all agree? I think that's it for the pod.
Although,
then.
if you're eating it as a cookie, do you eat a pecan sandy? You don't. You eat a pecan sandy, I bet.
I don't know what that is.
And those are
It's a cookie you shouldn't eat because it's not a very good cookie.
All right.
Right.
I love those cookies.
Never,
I haven't had one
never,
in years,
never
but
trust
what
a
did you
cookie that's named after a
What did you
female.
just call that cookie?
A pecan sandy.
A pecan sandy.
Pecan Sandy.
Pecan
Sounds like a dirty
or
sex move.
Pecan.
Oh,
Give her the old pecan sandy.
that's something you tried over your weekend.
pecan.
Yeah. After I bought a Winter's Kiss, I gave her a Pecan Sandy. If you will.
Nice.
If you will.
If you will. I was gentle.
The-
I've got J Mike going right
all
now.
right.
I've got his number. I've got J Mike's
Such a gentleman.
Look at him. He's such a gentleman. I left.
Oh man, yo, wow.
Gentle with that
money
winter's
for this.
kiss.
Yeah,
We
don't worry, I
are-
put my card in for your Uber.
We are 30 minutes into this show, and we
We haven't
have
talked a
not
lick of football. This is
talked
great.
A lick of
Good.
football, indeed.
It's
Let's
perfect
start.
for us.
Let's start with John Bosch's name for the night, because it is not his actual name. Let's see if I can find you, John Bosch. Where
I
are
was hoping it was going to be Glow Boy. I missed the Glow Boy.
Oh my God, it was Go UC. I'm a Bearcat fan. How does nobody outside of
Is it Go-
Cincinnati get that?
Glow Boy Gooch.
Go Boy Gaucho? Is that what?
I never went to Cincinnati, Bosch, because I went to Scribble Jam.
It's
I
Go
went to Scribble
UC.
Jam in Cincinnati.
Gucci Mane.
I have no idea what that is, Trotta. What is that?
Scribble Jam?
Yeah, I'm
it was
sorry.
it was in it's a hip hop festival like for 3 days out your way. It's been going on for a while. I mean, Eminem used to be a part of it. So I went out there to Cincinnati for 3 days. Awesome festival, by the way. I recommend if you're into hip hop going, but there's not much more to the story. Sorry. I got a Cincinnati mug. Doug knows this. The only interesting part of this story is there was a girl that liked me. Right, we liked each other, and nothing happened, but we liked each other, and so I bought her. I think I bought her a figure, like a Chad Johnson or whoever, a Corey Dillon, whatever the case may be at the time.
I do remember
to send her, right, Doug? I think that's what it was.
McFarlane figure. Yeah, I can't remember.
Yeah. I sent it to her. You know, I liked her, and she sent me back a Cincinnati Bengal mug that you can put in the freezer that you can like then pour a beer into. Right? I still have that mug to this
put a winter's
day.
kiss in it.
I put a winter's kiss. I should have put a winter's kiss in it just for Bosch for tonight. That's the story. I told you, not very interesting.
all this time we were waiting for a good time to press record. Right there, man. Right there.
I tried to preface it at the beginning that there wasn't a lot of excitement in this in that story, but Aaron, I live in
I hear Bosch digging around.
I know. I hear Bosch getting ready, getting feisty.
I think I'm going to make a winter's kiss here in a few minutes.
Yeah.
Wow, it's sticking, kids. Boys, it is sticking. All right, this is actually the really funny part of the story. So this girl and I actually kind of hooked up a bit, right? Her father called my mom on a landline back in New Hampshire and called up and asked for me directly and then yelled at me on the phone to never talk to his daughter again. And I had just sent this McFarlane figure out. The only thing I said when I hung up was, man, I just wasted like $21 on that figure. I'm never going to get that back. Like that was, he literally called me to yell at me for seeing his daughter.
He knew you were bad news, bro.
This is back before the internet, boys and girls. This is when you actually had to like write out a letter to send to somebody. You know, this is when you opened up your mailbox and got a letter from a girl and you're like, oh, great. She wrote back to me. It's been 3 months.
I went to go try and find my Bengals frozen beer mug. It's not in the freezer down here, though. I had a different one.
I have a Patriots mug.
I think I know exactly what mug you're talking about because I think I might have one.
Did I give it to you?
I don't think so.
Bosch ended up marrying that girl that you.
She goes, hey, I still got this mug staying around. I got 2 of them on accident. It was a 2-for-1 special.
Hey.
I'd sent one out.
You had me a mug.
She's like,
Glow Boy Geico. I'm gonna try to mangle that as many different ways as I can.
And this is the reason I changed my email address. Good Lord.
This is him off so much.
You people, like,
Gauchos.
you people made me go and deal with. You know what it's like to change an email after like 20 years of
Oh,
having
boy.
it?
Like
Oh,
guacamole.
a fucking nightmare. Now I have to be John Bosch.
Oh, boy, go
FF.
there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh shoot! Did you ever
UC.
land?
Go
Go
UC.
Go
UC.
boy gout. Go boy gout. Oh.
Oh, boy, cow.
Can we get a recipe video for Winter's Kiss?
It's a martini. Oh,
Are you
no.
guys ready for this? Hey, everybody, welcome. I'm going to show you how to make a
So
Winter's
David Johnson, you said,
Yes.
Yep.
Did you ever land on? Did
Here.
you ever land on a trade for him?
did I?
Take the floor, John Bosch. Let me here.
I mean, you asked
How do we solve a problem like DJ? Come on, man.
I haven't
Tell
had
us.
any offers accepted for him yet. I did send like 26 offers for him.
Jeez.
13 going for the selling, 13 going for buying, because I don't know what to do with him. So I think where I ended up landing on him, he was my panic room player that I did today. And I ended up with, I want to have him still, but only on certain teams. And so I looked for the teams where I don't have him, where I think he would fit. And then I made offers to get him there. And then other teams where I have him, like Bar Tab, and that doesn't quite fit anymore. I need to try and get rid of him there. So I still want to have the exact same amount of DJ that I have right now, which is a good amount. I just want to shift it to the right places. So
yeah, I thought it was interesting what you said, just being able to having so much of him rostered on your teams and just being able to sit on the fence, as you said, to like look at either side and be like, well, where's it going to land here, and what is the value? Because I think it's a tough one for sure. I don't think many people want to buy really or can't sell.
They can't. But I mean, I offered. There was literally I offered him in one league for Kerryon Johnson straight up, and then in another league I offered Kerryon Johnson for him straight up. They both got rejected. So like, I don't know what to do.
You're at a standstill.
One of those had to be the right offer. I don't know which way, but that baffles
I'll trade you my injury-prone running back for your injury-prone running back.
Like I would have, both trades would have. I would have been okay if they both would have been accepted, and I would have just still had the same carry on and still had the same DJ, but they would have been flip-flop. Like that would have been perfect. But they both got rejected. So I don't even know. I don't know what that tells me about which is the better one to have right now.
I guess they're just, both of those guys are just holds, and you just have to wait it out.
That's right there though. That's where I think when a guy is labeled a hold, like that's a margin that you can go after. There's a margin for profit right there. When everybody's uncertain of what to do with a guy, that's where you go to get that guy. You might be wrong. I mean, I lose a ton of freaking trades. I lose trades all the time. But I think I just have to keep attacking that margin and hoping that some of them turn out right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at least DJ looked great on Sunday.
Oh yeah, fantastic.
He was like a DJ at a really bad wedding.
I mean, he ran laterally as fast as I walked to the refrigerator.
It was ugly. It was ugly. I should have attached that video that everybody has seen on Twitter 1,000 times now. Should have attached that in every offer that I was trying to buy him. Like, by the way,
this is the guy you still have.
Yeah.
Like, hey, do you want to trade the Ron Dane of your roster?
Oh, that's mean.
Hey. That man.
So let me ask this, because when we look at
some respect on that man,
and get
Wisconsin, maybe.
Bosch, you had brought up DLF's ADP dropping. I'm not sure if you guys were aware of this, but David Johnson, November ADP for DLF. Anybody have a guess overall where he landed?
49th.
69th.
I think late 30s is probably my guess. I don't think 49 is even out of the question.
Right. I think that's
late 30s, early 40s is right there.
Too early.
Yeah,
40. That's not where I would have him on my
49 was the first number that came to my head without
what
any.
Would that be? That would be the beginning of the 5th round. I think he's probably in the 4th round somewhere. I don't think he's fallen to the 5th yet.
No.
Essentially at 401, so 37 overall, right? David Johnson, right behind Calvin Ridley and Adam Thielen, right in front of Chris Carson, Allen Robinson, Marlon Mack.
I still want him over Carson. I did offer him straight up for Allen Robinson. Oh, wait, no, it was Allen Robinson plus a little bit of money to the aforementioned Kevin Cotillo. And he has not made a decision on it yet. So that'll be interesting.
He's busy traveling.
No, he messaged me as soon as he got the offer, and he's like, "Oh man, I don't know what to do." I was like, good, that's perfect. That's exactly what I want when I make an offer to somebody.
So is David Johnson still good?
To be determined.
Yeah, that doesn't matter to me.
Right,
TBD.
but like you said, Bosch, like now's the time if you're going to make a distinction as to whether you think he's still good or not. Like now's the time to try, like you said, to be able to capitalize on the margin. So is he, by the time we spin this forward to next season, or even for the rest of this season, do you still think he's a top 3 round startup player for dynasty teams?
A top 3 what round? Top 3 round?
Yeah, so basically he's going at the beginning of the 4th, right? So 401. Is you think he's 401 worthy come either off season or by the beginning of next season or even for the rest of this season?
I think the only time he goes, I think he falls to the end of the 4th round as we go through the off season, as we approach actual point scoring season again. I think he rises back up to the right where he is probably right now. He's got 2020 left in him. That money isn't going away from the Cardinals. The only way the Cardinals can get rid of him is a trade. He's on the hook for a lot of money.
No one's going to trade for that.
Yeah, he's the Cardinals running back next year.
Especially not with this running back class coming in. Like, no one's going to be like, hey, give me a $15 million running back, or I'll draft like a potential stud in the 3rd round.
Yep, exactly.
But they might literally draft a running back that competes with him in touches or just completely outperforms him, and they just have
maybe they have that guy
money or a good.
This is on the case.
Yeah, I mean, they very well could.
Chase Edmonds produced when, granted, it was against the Giants, and everybody's played well against them, but he produced when DJ went down and got everybody that, one snap, and everybody lost their mind because he was, active when really he was an emergency running back.
It was amazing.
But I think Chase Edmonds could be legit. I'd actually be interested to see how Chase Edmonds kind of ADP goes through this offseason. I think, especially in dynasty circles, I think Chase Edmonds is a very exciting prospect. Somebody that if you have him, you're holding. And you could probably buy him still for fairly cheap, where people still think David Johnson's the number 1 guy there in Arizona. Again, I don't think he can get traded based on that contract, but I think it's still yet to be determined whether or not David Johnson's really great. I mean, is 2016 an outlier? We've had some injuries that have obviously plagued the seasons. He finished as an RB1 last year, a quiet RB1. But what do we really want to pay for David Johnson when we're not really getting that great of a return? And he's shown that he's injury prone.
So Chase Edmonds is like super cheap for the Cardinals. So that actually makes me feel a little bit better. That
he's making under $1 million.
I don't know if they will draft somebody, Gabe. Like,
well, here's the thing. So I think
they've got their cheap alternative already.
I think they'll draft someone so obviously DJ's injury history, and they run a ton of plays. So I think that they're probably going to want a 3rd guy that, just from insurance purposes.
Dear God, they just need to draft some offensive linemen, right?
Well, half the NFL needs to draft.
Like, shouldn't their entire draft just be O-line?
I think I'm going to bulk back up and get into the league.
Maybe a tight end, O-line. And just be like, all right, come on, 2 of you guys hit and be worthwhile for us.
It just feels like, speaking today, right? The 2 hardest picks are going to be in 2020. Where do you draft? Where do you draft Todd Gurley?
Oh, geez.
Where does David Johnson go? Right? 2 guys that 2 years prior were in the 1st round, and all of a sudden you're going to be seeing them in the 3rd and 4th round going,
it's the life of a running back.
I don't know if I really want him. I might take that
the life of a running back. Absolutely.
Crazy to think that those guys are going to be falling into those rounds. But somebody posted, like, is David Johnson still worth a top 4 round startup dynasty pick? I mean,
it's
risky. It's risky.
I think at the beginning of the season, people will start to look there for him. But in the offseason, everybody will be like, no, I don't want any DJ. I don't want any DJ. I don't want any DJ. And then the season comes along and like, I want the starting running back, David Johnson, for Arizona Cardinals. You always see that. The redraft mentality leaks in a little bit more as the point scoring season approaches.
It reminds me exactly of Devontae Freeman this year in redraft or dynasty, whatever it is. What's that?
That hasn't worked out. Ugh.
Exactly. I mean, but he'll be around that same area. I think Devontae Freeman was like a 4th round startup or so, and
he crept
appeared
into
to be
the
a
third.
great value. Yeah,
like
sure.
John said,
whatever.
once
And-
point
and-
scoring season started, Freeman started to he got a lot of buzz in the community, and he started to come up into the third round.
Yep.
He had the whole backfield basically for what was supposed to be such a good offense.
Don't you dismiss Ito?
Here we are with Brian Hill.
Yeah, and now we have Brian Hill.
Wyoming's finest.
Yep. That's one of Jacob's favorite, wasn't it? From the running back code.
Oh, I think it might have been. You might be right. What up, Bittner? Let me ask you guys this: David Montgomery or DJ?
David Montgomery for me.
David Montgomery.
Player wise, I don't care for either, but value wise, I would want David Montgomery because I think you could sell him for more.
All right, I'll go. Let's make it the full Monty.
I got one for you. This is a discussion that I've had with somebody back and forth for about 3 days now. This is a running back that I think right now he's a little bit less valuable, but I think he's going to go up and DJ is going to come down, and I think they're going to cross paths. And by the start of the season next year, I think Singletary is more valuable than DJ. What do you guys think about Singletary?
Oh, he has a better running back at quarterback, so that's the difficult part, right?
They're both pretty good running backs.
Well, it was like being Cam Newton's lead running back before Christian McCaffrey, right? Like he just cannibalized so many touchdowns at the goal line that he just crushed your value. So Singletary needs to make up those yards in between the 20s, because then when they get in the red zone, Josh Allen's a threat to steal all those touchdowns and basically just vulture them. So that's a huge concern. If you're going in and investing in Singletary, you have to understand, like you have to do a really good cost analysis, knowing that there's a potential that his touchdown upside is capped because his quarterback's going to run in, 6 to 7, maybe even 8 of those a year, depending on kind of how that season goes.
I think David Johnson's touchdown upside might be capped though by,
Murray doesn't seem to run nearly as much though.
Point.
Murray doesn't run like Allen.
No, I'm not saying
Lamar,
he's capped by the quarterback. I'm saying he's capped by himself. Going into the next year.
To move,
yes,
his ability to run.
Yes. So I mean, not hopefully he's hurt, but hopefully there is some ailment that's going on right now that resolves quick, please, because I have a lot of David Johnson, so please do.
I know this isn't Dynasty game night, but we're going to play with the ADP here. And you said that Singletary would be close to David Johnson. How close do you think he is right now? Where do you
right now? What did we say? What was DJ 37-ish?
Already look. Yeah, DJ's 37.
I'm going to guess Singletary's. I'll guess like 57, 56. Somewhere right there. I'm really bad with ADP. We all know that.
So November Dynasty ADP.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll say 46.
So that's right at the end. Or
we got Dougie Fresh.
Let's go with City. Let's go with 60.
Okay.
Yeah. All very, very close.
Good guesses. Very good guesses.
About a round and a half away from David Johnson already at 54 overall, sandwiched between Sony and Robert Woods. I mean, Woods. I could totally see that. I could totally see that happening where they kind of merge. I think Singletary has quite the draft to survive, and I'm not sure if he will. Even if it's just a 3rd or 4th round guy, like that is plenty to be, concerned about.
That's like every running back, though. I mean, that's every running back.
I know it is, but I mean,
except for maybe Zeke, who's making like $10 bazillion now. So,
well, Barkley,
he's probably pretty set. Yeah. Saquon's probably pretty set.
Yeah, I think Saquon's good.
But I wouldn't even good Lord, Carolina just out of preservation should bring in somebody. Like, please bring in somebody.
Then they just brought in Mike Davis, son.
Yeah, they fine.
Okay, please draft somebody just to take like 10%.
And they got Reggie Bonbons.
Bonifon.
Bonbons.
I did not know Mike Davis got signed there. That's news to me.
Yep.
Yeah, he and Dante Moncrief really piling on those studs down there in Carolina, huh?
Can't get enough of them.
Looks like Josh Allen and Kyler have pretty close to the same amount of rushes this year, too, by the way.
Really?
59 for Kyler, and I already forgot what Josh Allen was, but 60. It was in the 60s. It was,
But those touchdown
within.
numbers are a huge difference, though. I think Josh Allen.
Yeah. That's true.
Josh Allen's surprising again everybody in fantasy about how valuable he is. Pretty much a steal in any draft you're in. He was a late round quarterback selection for the most part. And he's a solid fantasy starter for you.
He's
in
the
a 2
bargain
QB
bin
league.
Konami code.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
So, I mean, as bad of a quarterback he is in the real NFL, he's great in fantasy football for those rushing touchdowns, which he seems to get one. It just feels like every game it's one. I know it's not the case, but yeah, it just feels like every time you look up,
oh, Josh Allen was a quarterback in real life, and he was a QB1 like 3 years in a row.
That's right.
Yep. He's crushing me on my 20-1 bet of that I made with a Buffalo Bills fan to say that his TD to INT ratio would be less than 1. And he was doing great for the first, 6 or 7 games. Now he's turning around. He's a 10-7 ratio. So come on, Joshy, more picks, buddy.
More picks, Joshy.
And this, as far as the 2020 draft goes, we've seen in the last 2 drafts, Josh Allen be someone that everybody didn't even want to give a chance to start out with, and I say everyone, quotation marks there, and then turn around, fast forward a year, Daniel Jones, we give him very similar treatment, and here we are, both guys showing at least specifically Superflex League value, being guys that you can at least count on to give you something and probably be a lot better than what their value suggested coming into the year. So I don't know who QB 4 or 5 is in this class, but whomever is being discounted that has a little bit of running chops to him, I'm taking him everywhere. Whoever it is, I don't even know who it is, but he'll land somewhere and he'll end up giving you some kind of value. So I found that very interesting with Daniel Jones and with Josh Allen. How both of those guys, people were ripping them to shreds.
I saw Josh Allen go like mostly mid-second in Superflex leagues. Yeah, and which
while all the other guys went in the first, right?
Oh, early first, yeah.
Right,
Bosch drafted every rookie quarterback except for Josh Allen in UDPL that year.
I tried to get to him. Like nobody would let me come up.
He slipped into Pete Davidson's hands like middle of the second.
It was really annoying. I tried to. I think you can ask Pete. I'm pretty sure I tried to come back up to get him right there, and he just wouldn't let me. Like he's basically said no because he had already traded me a couple of times so I could coach every quarterback. Oh,
it was good for me because I had the 2.5, 2.6, and I got Kirk and Sutton in that draft, so I was pretty happy with that. Yeah. I love that value in Superflex League when there's 4 or 5 QBs and you got a mid-second pick. Like it just pushes some real. So tip, if you're in a Superflex League in 2020 draft picks, stock up on those seconds.
Oh yeah.
There's going to be a lot of nice players there.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Superflex especially. That's going to be fun.
Yerp.
That's your strategy this coming off season, right, J Mike, is to just draft the QB that everyone hates?
I'm very confident that I'll be in on that strategy, like whoever it is. Like it'll be, but the unique thing is this. So obviously Josh Allen, Daniel Jones, they both give you some sort of rushing upside to their games. I don't know who that's going to be with this class though.
Jalen Hurts maybe.
Yeah, but I think that there's too much buzz for people to really hate him at this point. But yes, that in that mold, yes, you're exactly right.
Yeah, I mean if he goes and has like a Rocky Combine and people are like,
Right. Like Oklahoma, like poops the bed to end the year. They struggle, and he doesn't necessarily look like he's setting the world on fire. Yeah, I need some of those, some of that hate to start settling in on Jalen Hurts. Yes, but exactly that. Yes,
got you.
Even if like Jacob Eason could run,
say,
I don't know
what kind of guy. Yeah,
I don't think Fromm has the rushing ability, but people will hate him. People will hate Fromm. But somebody like Easton, I don't know what kind of athlete he is, but I would love to see where they shake out.
So everyone has to hate him, and he has to be able to run. Getting to be too much.
That's it. Those are the only
You
two
got to
things.
put the Konami. You have to put the Konami in Konami code. So there's that. Just saying.
Okay.
I don't know. Did you see AB's comment in the chat about Zeke?
No. Let's talk about it. Throw it up here.
AB, I see you in the chat. AB, he says, I keep getting offers for Zeke. He's got Fournette and Godwin for Zeke in terms of an offer that he's received. Wait, let's talk about that for a second. Fournette and Godwin or Zeke, which side would you guys like?
Zeke.
Okay.
You know my hate for Leonard Fournette.
Yeah, you're right. I do. Oh, it's got everybody else thinking though.
I'm a big Godwin guy. I think Fournette is. I mean, he's showing you he's got some pass catching chops this year. Obviously, that was with Minshew Mania behind center.
Even when Foles was there, he was.
I think I would go. I don't mind Fournette and Godwin for Zeke. I really don't.
Let me ask you this, Trotta. Does if the person that's wanting to make this trade with you, if they're right behind you in the standings, does that give you any pause?
Especially if their makeup of their team is just a Zeke away from winning it all.
Okay.
For sure. But I mean, I don't know if you really. I think that what you're losing in Zeke, you might. I mean, some weeks Fournette's evening it out, even though he hasn't scored any touchdowns this year for the most part. So he's a major candidate for positive TD regression. And then Godwin has been consistent, and then when he booms, it's top 5 for the week, if not 1 overall. So I think what you're losing in Zeke, which is that consistent kind of like double digits with the ceiling that's RB1 overall, you're kind of having to use 2 players to kind of make it up. But when they both kind of pop, they're going to...
what's the fantasy points on the season, Zeke versus Fournette? Anyone got that in front of him?
I was just looking. Okay. It's like 2 points apart.
Yeah.
Right.
And Zeke's really not been using that passing game the way that they've changed the offense.
Not like last
with Amari Cooper. And, obviously with Michael Gallup coming on in his second year, Jason Witten coming back, eating up some targets over the middle.
Eating up too many targets.
Blake Jarwin seeming to catch 2 balls, but when he does, he runs for 50 yards.
They're working Randall Cobb in there too. So
Randall Cobb, who's new to the offense. Yeah, I think that Fournette for Zeke is, if you want to just look at it from those 2 players, I think, you can go Fournette, and then you got Godwin to kind of sprinkle on top of it. I'm all for pulling the trigger on that deal.
I think that's a fair trade from the value perspective, and I would just be kind of using it to acquire Godwin and then sell Fournette for players that I like.
I think the Godwin Fournette owner wins that deal. I don't know if it's even. I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's like straight up 2 for 1. I think you're winning. I think you're winning with those 2 over Zeke.
Gabe, to answer your question, Zeke. And this is points per game. Both Zeke and Leonard Fournette have played 9 games to this point. Zeke has 178 carries. Fournette's got 174. Zeke's got 6 rushing touchdowns, though, to Leonard Fournette's 1.
Right.
But Fournette has 40 catches to Zeke's 26. Either way, point being, they are 0.2 points apart in points per game. Zeke is RB8 on the season in PPR, and Fournette is RB9. Again, 0.2 points.
They're basically
difference.
that Spider-Man gif. Like just pointing at each other. They're basically the same player right now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But Fournette has a better floor because of that pass catching.
And
then
Fournette,
obviously we know what Godwin is.
Yeah, it looks like Fournette's giving you. Well, I don't know if this is PPR or not. Now, I'm trying to see. He's been pretty consistent of late, giving you double digits. Except for this last game.
Zeke's been a bit up and down.
How does that not make your team better, AB? You say you're wide receiver rich with Adams, Cooper, Robinson, and Edelman. I mean, but Godwin's a better start over Robinson and Edelman, I think. So, and Fournette, at least this year, appears to be lateral with Zeke. So I don't know how many you can start, but I would prefer to start Godwin over Robinson and Edelman for the rest of the season.
Ooh, I don't know. Edelman's going to finish strong, I think.
Well, you're a Patriots fan and biased, so
No. He was on our
But Doug, you were
Dynasty
also a
buys
proponent.
on Happy Hour. His schedule
Yeah, I was about to say.
and they don't have anything
But
else
you
in the
also-
passing game.
But Doug, you were also a
Excuse me?
proponent of trading him for a second,
For trading Edelman?
if I remember correctly. Yeah, I think you were.
Yeah. Like if I can
weren't
get it, if I'm not competing, like I'll take. If someone offered me
Gotcha.
a second for Edelman, like I would take it. Yeah.
Gotcha.
While I agree, and I'm also a Patriots homer, the Edelman and the Pats have a very easy schedule down the road. For the most part, they do have some. They face much tougher competition, which should be for higher scoring games, which is great for Edelman if the offense can kind of get clicking. But I would rather take Godwin in an offense that averages more points per game and throws for more yards per game than Edelman. Just there's more ups. There's just a better floor there from a receiving yardage standpoint, and then the touchdowns that come along with it. I think his weeks when he produces are much higher than Edelman's when he.
Oh, for sure. Like yeah, he's gonna go 150 and 2. Like
And he catches the same
does
amount of
that once a
balls.
year, maybe. Yeah.
But he catches the same amount of balls. So where Edelman usually has an advantage against most receivers because of that, amount of receptions on a per game basis. I think that Godwin's right up there from a target and reception standpoint, and then he has the yardage upside and touchdown upside.
I don't even know how
Doug,
easy this schedule is. I mean, they've got Philly coming up this week. They've been their corners have been just awful for the first half, but they seem to have gotten better the past few weeks. And Dallas, Byron Jones, Houston's not as bad anymore. KC's decent. Since he'll get smoked. But Buffalo, I don't know.
I mean KC just lost to Ryan Tannehill. So
what's that?
I said KC just lost to Ryan Tannehill. And granted, he only threw for like 188 yards.
Wide receivers, though. It was Derrick Henry just running all over that horrible run defense. I mean, it wasn't Corey.
Adam Humphries.
It was inactive, but it wasn't AJ Brown or Tajay Sharp.
For Edelman. Just because he's not going to see Byron Jones. Like Byron Jones isn't going to cover Edelman.
I know, he's going to play in this slot. I get, but
yeah.
I mean that you'd think that I don't know. I don't.
I think the appeal for Edelman is always a safe floor.
Yeah,
it's true. He does have a safe floor.
Yeah, he's going to get so many targets, and he's the only. I mean, they worked Sanu in a little bit, but he's still new to the team. And Philip Dorsett, no. I mean, it's going to be Edelman. They don't have a freaking tight end.
Well,
I guess it just comes down to you just want to invest in better offenses.
Let's just make an open bar bet already. Chris Godwin versus Julian Edelman. Yeah, and I'll give you the margin that Godwin has right now if you're frightened. Or we can just go straight up.
I'll do it. Whatever.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
Yeah.
What's the consequences?
What? I cannot be consequenced. But whatever you come up with.
It's inconsequential.
It doesn't feel like a fair fight. I feel like Godwin.
The loser has to chug
eggnog.
Yep.
Eggnog. Loser has to chug eggnog.
I'm down to chug.
While Bosch sprinkles cinnamon on your tongue in between sips.
You have to chug eggnog and then do the cinnamon.
Well, I give you a winter's kiss.
Hey.
Gosh.
Hey now. My wife did reply, by the way, J Mike. It was beautiful.
Consequenced.
He said, "Shut up."
You those consequences. Before we get too far, two things. One, because I want to hear the pro Zeke side of this, because I'm curious. I'm very curious of that. But let's come right back to that, Doug. And again, I listen to way too many podcasts, and that's not true. Not way too many, but definitely the ones of the people that I value relationships with. I think I listen to those most often and more than once, typically, Doug. And you said, if I recall correctly, you said something to the effect of Brady typically sucks really bad in December.
As a whole, yes.
Okay.
So I didn't. So as a whole, Brady struggles in December, but Edelman's floor is so insulated because of just he's seeing over 25% of the team's targets, and I don't think that's going to change. So Brady might throw for under 200 yards and a touchdown, but Edelman's still going to have eight receptions for 85, and maybe he gets the touchdown, maybe he doesn't. So when you talk about guys that are safe floor guys, especially if you're trying to win a championship, I just think that that's why I had Edelman on that list, because I think that he's not going to cost you an arm and a leg because he's an older player, and he's going to finish the season on a productive note. So that's why. But yes, Brady in December, like for fantasy, here's the thing. He typically stinks because they focus on the run. Now, they have offensive line injuries. The fullback's out for the year. No Gronk to block. Maybe they'll lean a little bit more pass heavy this year. I don't know. I'm not Bill Belichick, obviously, but I could see that happening because the running game, it hasn't been good. So they're going to have to figure that out. And, maybe Edelman is the beneficiary of that even more than he was going into that. So that's my thought process.
Makes sense. Bosh, you hit us with, it sounds like you were the lone person on the Zeke side. I kind of abstained because I wasn't sure. But with the heights that we've seen from Zeke, I imagine that is one of the reasons why you were on the Zeke side of this, and obviously not trusting Fournette to do and be what he's continued to be so far this season.
Yeah, it's more my distrust of Fournette. Yeah, he's doing great this year, but I'm assuming this is Dynasty that we're talking about, right? It wasn't redraft, was it?
Indeed.
Okay, so
Dynasty. Right.
Dynasty, I try to think more than just, right now, even though I do often think right now so I can win. I would rather have Zeke. And looking at the guys, I'd already looked at what he posted, so I saw how he was pretty well off at wide receiver. If you take it in like a 2v2, so like you said, Zeke and Edelman versus Fournette and Godwin, I'd rather start Zeke and Edelman the rest of the year. Like, try and ride that to a championship. I don't feel the need that I would have to tinker. Godwin's probably not getting the start for me over Adams or Amari. I love both them. He might start for me over Robinson or Edelman, but I think Edelman and Robinson are okay enough. I don't think the gap from Godwin to them scoring wise is enough this year to make up for what I think the gap between Zeke and Leonard Fournette will be down the stretch. That's kind of how I feel going. And then next year, I mean, good God, I just don't trust Leonard Fournette. I don't trust him at all. So next year I could feel completely ripped off for getting rid of Zeke and having Leonard Fournette. Traded Zeke in the league for David Johnson and Andy Dalton at the beginning of the year because I needed a quarterback. Guess what? Don't feel fucking great about it anymore. So,
Tyler and I traded away Zeke for David Montgomery in 2 2021st. I feel pretty decent.
Yeah, I feel pretty good. I'd feel pretty good about that.
We have 6 2021st now.
Nice.
Restocking the shelves.
Let's go make a trade and trade accident. I'm sick of you guys having all the firsts.
You got any first you want to send us? Like, we got players still. Let's go.
Do you?
We traded for Josh Jacobs too.
Well, I'm not going to give you my first. My first is going to be good.
Gabe, are you contending in that league?
No. Well, I mean, sort of. Like, no. My team is not contend worthy, but it is in the mix of as far as record.
Are you a middle grounder?
I know I hate that, but I really think my team is bad. Like, it is not good, but it just like happens to win on weeks. Like, I'm getting unlucky by winning.
You're a middle grounder. Unbelievable.
No, I'm not. Fuck off.
You're one loss away from a middle grounder.
He has Diggs in that league too.
Say what?
So Aaron AB just chimed in and he said he forgot he had Diggs in that league too. So he's like loaded at wide. Here's what I would do.
Yeah, he is.
I mean, you could get Fournette and Godwin and then maybe flip Godwin for like a ton because his value is sky high. If you got all those,
he can't really get much higher either. I was going to mention that. Maybe you ought to sell Godwin.
That's true. That is true.
Or both.
If you go that route, then I kind of like it because then you're getting a ton of future value to probably draft, Leonard Fournette's replacement.
What you said move Godwin for who?
They said picks.
Oh, okay, got you.
Ooh,
right?
Doug, cheers to you, sir.
I did the cheap pop for I just finished off the Blackheart.
Oh, we're Blackheart twins, my friend.
She's done
this up in the microwave.
There's a little bit in there. I can probably
so somebody had asked how to make a winter's kiss. First you pour apple cider.
Oh my God, are we still on these drinks?
And then I put it in the microwave.
Cider first? I pour the rum first.
Well, let me explain my process here, and then maybe it'll make sense. So I pay my apple cider here, and then I put it in the microwave for a minute 30 to heat it up. Then you fill the rest of it with rum. Then you get an old spoon or a knife, whatever you choose. Stir
Your finger,
that bad
perhaps?
boy up. Finger if you'd like, and then
If you're
put that on
nasty.
the end of your son's passy, and then put it in his mouth, and it'll go right to sleep.
No.
Ouch,
Somebody's
yeah.
calling CPS on you right now.
Yeah, I know, right? But that's if you want to do it heated. If you don't do it heated, then yeah, put the rum in.
I do not do it either. I don't like warm drinks.
I don't like to put I don't put the rum in and then heat it up. It just doesn't taste as well. Not a big fan of that.
Gotcha.
Zach put in the chat as well. Again, continuing this Godwin Fournette Zeke conversation because I find this very fascinating. Godwin's currently wide receiver 3, which we talked about. Obviously, Fournette and Zeke, we talked about them being next to each other. He says, can you flip Fournette after you ride him to the playoffs this year and come away with a top 10 wide receiver? With that said, I don't know if he means top 10 by ADP or top 10 by kind of where they stand now.
What's Godwin's DLF ADP in November right now?
Glad you asked. Godwin's. Oh, I want you to guess this. This is fun. What do you think?
Shiz. Overall
Godwin's
or wide
November
receiver?
ADP?
Wide receiver overall.
Let's go overall. His overall ADP.
I looked at this one. I think I saw this one when I looked at it earlier.
I want to say
Bosch abstains.
21.
Yeah, I'm gonna abstain.
I was gonna say 19 was the first number that came
21.
to me.
Okay, Gabe, what you got?
I cannot play.
Oh.
Okay, so you know this is what.
Yep.
So between the cousins here, we've got coming in. Aren't you guys related? Didn't you guys say you were cousins or family or no?
We're related.
They're gurus.
Yeah, we're
Okay, never mind.
I am
One
Josh's
guru.
brother-in-law.
2 guru.
It sounds like some weird incest story. I don't want to hear.
Oh,
The
Mike, come on
I'm
now.
just kidding.
You gotta be like that. Yeah, man.
I'm just kidding.
Doug
Yeah,
married my
Chris,
sister. It's
Yes.
very easy. Doug married my sister, which then by law made him my brother, hence him a brother-in-law. And that is all there is to it. There is no other thing. Well, Doug did grow up in Epping, and that is probably a very common thing in Epping. That is not the case here. Okay, J.
Sure.
Mike.
Fair enough. Consider myself schooled. Boom, roasted. I'm going with ADP. The first pick of the second round, Chris Godwin at 13 overall.
Woo!
Settling right behind Juju and Odell, and right in front of Amari and Mike Evans. That's a really juicy run of receivers there in November ADP, and actually before Juju even. Oh my gosh.
That makes Juju
Listen to
so
this.
appealing. Getting big
9
Ben
through
back.
15. 9 through 15, November ADP, all wide receivers. Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill, Juju, OBJ, Chris Godwin, Amari Cooper, Mike Evans. Wow.
Amari Cooper just gets no love. Amari Cooper just constantly gets shit on by like ADPs.
Always.
Oh, I mean, that dude, all he does is go out there and produce. You can go with the whole home road splits, whatever you want. But this year has been a little bit different for Amari Cooper. Now, the injuries are the biggest thing for him, right? Like, I feel like any owner that has Amari Cooper,
Keeps playing though.
He just
Those
doesn't give a
nagging
shit
injuries.
this year, though. He's just grinding, bro.
yeah.
Playing for a contract, man.
I feel like Amari Cooper every year is just the best value ADP.
I feel like Gabe, we have to start the campaign for Amari Cooper like we did for Mike Evans. What does Amari Cooper have to do?
Right?
I think
How about
Peter
Mike
might
Evans
be
getting-
with us on that one too.
I
He
like
can
how Mike
actually-
Evans is getting one up by
Guard
Chris
that shit.
Godwin from an ADP perspective.
Yeah.
Mike
So-
Evans has just been like absolutely balling for 4 straight weeks, and just is still constantly people are like, nah, Godwin's
5
better.
straight years.
Well, we're right. But I'm just saying, like, Godwin kind of came out of the gates
1,000
firing.
yards
and
every
everybody was
year.
kind of like, Chris Godwin's taking the torch, and then Mike Evans just from week 3 on has just been a beast for the most part after you get over that illness.
Yep.
So if we're looking at strictly points per game for this year, let's spin this forward for next year.
Derek Carr stink is still on him. For Amari Cooper, it just doesn't matter how many showers he takes.
Meanwhile,
if you've
Derek
got
Carr's having a
Fournette-
heck of a year.
Yeah.
That's
That
just
he
true.
is. If you've got Fournette, would you be trading Fournette for Kenny Galladay? Could you get Kenny Galladay if you've given up Fournette?
I'll take Galladay
I mean, I would take Galladay over Fournette.
easily.
Really? I would take Fournette.
I think I would too. I'd take Fournette.
We
think, Gabe?
Oh, sorry, guys. I have to interrupt this broadcast
with
the arrival
of
one Nog.
Did your wife just run out to get Nog?
I mean, not out. We've got gallons on gallons.
Oh, you got gallons of Nog on hand.
You guys are eggnog.
I told you, we just went through the first half gal, man. We're on to half gal 2.
What do you think about flavored eggnog, Gabe? What's your? I've seen some different flavors this year, and I'm kind of skeptical. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know about this. I'm old-fashioned.
Tell me, you're the golden eggnog guy, right?
Is this a brand? I don't know.
No, it's like Hood, which is a Northeast thing, so maybe you don't have that. But like
I know the carton I buy is Hood as fuck. Like looks like
no, the brand name is Hood. It's golden eggnog. It has a little bit more of like a darker yellow color to it. It's elite. It's really good. Once you come out to Boston, I'll get you some fucking Nog, kid, and we'll make some fucking killer drinks, guy.
My guy. You don't know the Nog until you've been to Boston.
I'll show you how to fucking park all over the place, kid. and maybe we'll run into fucking Tommy Sweeney.
Tommy Sweeney, you say?
Tommy Sweeney.
The Hood pumpkin eggnog is a tasty beverage.
That's good.
I have not had the
AB knows what's up.
AB does know what's up. He's all over the Northeastern references.
AB told me I missed a spot on my ceiling, though. I mean, you didn't have to really blow up my spot like that, AB. I mean, shit, all right? I'm not the tallest guy in the world, so fuck, all right?
True.
Damn, man.
It's creeping on you.
Yeah, you ever allowed to make a mistake? I guess not.
It's a perfect world, man.
Bosh, I'm really regretting.
I'm sorry, J Mike. Go ahead.
No, go for it. Go for it.
I was just gonna ask what you asked me because I don't remember when my Nog came in. I just kind of
Fournette or Galladay.
That Nog sliding. It was like the Collinsworth slide. That Nog.
Just it's sliding. I don't know where I am.
Hey, what's up, Al?
I think I could sell more for Fournette, but I like the player Galladay more.
Okay. I'm just curious because, I'm just curious where the crossover point becomes because Leonard Fournette is player number 19 in November ADP. So literally he settled right behind Keenan Allen, and I'm afraid that if I ask you guys Keenan Allen or Leonard Fournette, it will be an easy sweep of Keenan Allen.
I don't know, man. The last 6 weeks have been rough.
Yeah. And I'm just curious because I think Zach's onto something there. If you do take Fournette in that trade with the Zeke, Godwin, and Fournette, what could you turn Fournette into that will make you feel better about that at the end of the day? Or maybe you just like Fournette. I don't know. But I find trades fascinating, especially cross position, because same positions bores me a little bit. But cross position and how you can
preference thing
leverage that value is a lot of fun for me to be able to do some mental gymnastics. So yeah, that's good. Anyway, I'm sorry. I find this very, very, very intriguing.
I still think Godwin and Fournette's the way to go. You can move either one of those pieces.
2 top 20 assets.
Yeah, you can move either one of those pieces depending on which way you want to go based on your roster configuration in the offseason and still get tremendous return.
He's got a butt ton of wide receivers, so you can pretty much select like the 3 or 4 guys that you really like and then trade off.
Trade Allen Robinson after a high season. Because something's going to happen in Chicago, whether they're going to change quarterbacks or they're going to look to go. I mean, who knows what kind of direction Chicago goes in as we head into 2020. If they get a new rookie quarterback, do you really want Allen Robinson in 2020 after everything it took for him to be just good in 2019? I mean,
yes.
Dude, have Allen Robinson for 2020. I mean,
it's got to be better than Trubisky and
but he's having his best year. He's having his best year since Blake Bortles with the fourth quarter comebacks.
I know, and
his
it's
most consistency.
What's worse?
Say that.
What's worse than Trubisky? I think Bortles is better than Trubisky.
Oh, I don't know. I think they're the same. I think they're the same person. Again, that Spider-Man gif. They're just pointing at each other.
No,
It's just tough with a rookie quarterback, though. The ups and downs that a rookie quarterback brings to an offense. I would rather move Allen Robinson on the high of his 2019 and try to get the best you can for him, knowing that 2020 might be a down year for him. Well, he might do well in 2021 and beyond. I'd rather take that win now and just kind of move on if you're in a win now mode.
I mean, I don't think the Bears are, going to move away from Trubisky either in the foreseeable future. So I don't know if this is a real conversation. Maybe they somehow go and get Cam. That would be neat. But
that's even better for you if they don't make a move. If they don't make a move, then you can at least point to what he did in 2019 as something that he could roll over into 2020. Maybe he barely improves a little bit. Maybe there's a percentage point of improvement. Maybe he has a little bit of positive TD regression type deal, but then you can move him for even better value, I think. Because then there's less risk. There's less to think about from the other side of that trade. Because they're going to go, oh, okay, I've seen it. I know what Trubisky is. He's not great, but Allen Robinson still had a great year, had a lot of targets, number one in that offense from a target percentage. He'd be the guy I'd be moving of those wide receivers that he listed. Because I think his ceiling is the most capped based on that offense and its struggles.
Bosch, I'm really upset with you right now.
Okay. I apologize.
I can't. No, you don't apologize. I'm being petty. Just with the ADP dropping, I can't not look at it right now. I just keep. I have it literally. If I share my screen, I've just got over here in the very bottom right hand corner, and I'm just kind of scrolling through, looking at stuff, and I'm just like, what? Huh? What? And I find it's interesting. The Melvin Gordon let's keep this game going. This will be the last name I ask, and then I'm out of bullets. Melvin Gordon, where do you guys think that he ranks November ADP?
26.
You're upset with me over Melvin Gordon?
No, I'm upset with you because you pointed out that November ADP dropped, and I can't stop looking at it.
Mike is obsessed over ADP.
I keep, yeah. Well, it's just one of those things where I'm just curious where everyone, well, not everyone, but just the perception as to where people stand right now.
I was thinking, did I steal Melvin Gordon from J Mike in a league somewhere or somehow? Okay, no, all right.
Doug's got 26. Where else you got stand? Melvin Gordon, overall ADP.
It's a good number. I like that.
I like that number too. I think just for fun, I'll go 29.
And for fun on the other side, I will say 23. Or wait, what did you say? 24?
I kind of want to throw a high number out there. I don't know why, but I just feel like I don't know, like
Redman and
Melvin Gordon. Melvin Gordon sat out most of this year, so that obviously killed his ADP. He's had like 2 good games since he came back. I don't know if
but they just
skyrocketed.
They just did the ADP during those 2 games.
Recency bias.
This is true. All right, I'm gonna go 33. The old Larry Bird number. Larry Legend.
The how high reference was not lost on me. I just need you to know that. With the dude hit you with the he's like, but it's the Mark of Buddha. No, that's the skid Mark of Buddha. Like a kid every time. Anywho, people are like, what are you talking about?
Great movie, by the way.
You guys will. Yes, it's
except when they were hauling around the dead dude, like that was like that lost me at that point.
You mean his friend? His best friend at the beginning of the movie. Yeah, he shows up in the stall.
Weird.
He's got that weird. He's got that like weird unibrow thing going on. Yeah, that stuff's hilarious. It's kind of one of those moments that you just kind of forget because you were also high when you were watching it, so you're just kind of like, this is kind of funny. And then you get older and you watch it again, you're like, man, did they actually have a dead body?
They made a sequel to How High?
I did not know that.
Right,
it wasn't with by the way. Though. It was like some other people, I think.
It's one of the best movies.
Fun fact.
All right. Melvin Gordon, ADP overall for the month of November.
Drum roll.
Oh, man. A full 20 spots lower than you thought, Doug, at 46.
I wanted to go high.
Wow. 46. Behind Evan Ingram and T.Y. Hilton.
Day.
And just ahead of Brandon Cooks and Tyler Boyd at 46. 46. 6.
I think when they do ADP in December, Brandon Cooks is going to be like in the 60s.
And I think Melvin Gordon will probably be back down into the upper 20s to low 30s. Like,
yep.
More importantly, is Danny Amendola ahead of him? That's all we're here for. That's all we're here for.
Melvin Gordon's going to fool around and win a lot of people leagues this year.
I mean, he's got a bad week 16 matchup, so
stop it, Jimmy.
I don't know.
Maybe.
I think, if I recall,
with the work that he's getting right now,
every Austin Eckler owner that's listening right now is just crying. Just crying into their winter's kiss.
Wow, they are only.
Oh wait, it's week 15 is when he plays the Vikings. I'm sorry, week 15.
There's a buddy of ours that has Austin Eckler in a big money league that Doug and I are in, and he is just absolutely just like a roller coaster ride that's going down right now, because ever since Melvin Gordon came back, and you've seen that opportunity share flip back over to Gordon's side, his team has just gone all the way down. He had like a 4-game losing streak before he won this past week. Oh man,
me this week, and I got Melvin Gordon. Let's go.
It was an amazing moment in the draft when Doug and him got in a heated debate. Well, more him yelling at Doug, and Doug going, "I didn't write this guy on my list. I wasn't even going to draft him." He's like, "Oh yeah, sure."
At all. And he tried to tell me I was, and I'm like, "No, I'm not lying, dude. Like, you want to check my ADP sheet that I made? Here, take a look."
It was great. The tension in the room, you could have cut it with a knife.
Like when he got mad the year before when I made an in-draft trade to get Josh Gordon right in front of him, and he got all mad that
I honestly think he paused the draft to look up the league rules to see if it was written in there. And he's the one who voted for it. We have a winter meeting every year. He's the one that voted for trading it to happen after the draft. Like, it was all written out and everything like that. And he pulled it up and he read it and he goes, "Proceed." That's exactly how we were.
He got pwned.
Yeah. It's they're definitely frenemies when it comes to fantasy football. These two.
Yeah, whatever. I just let it roll nowadays.
Oh, I love it
anymore.
It's not directed at me. I'm all for it. Go for it. Go for the jugular.
Calming down in his old age. I like that. Like your.
But really, what is Danny Amendola's ADP in November? Yo, why you guys keep laughing at Danny Amendola? Like,
187.
He's the old Jamison Crowder. Why don't you just shut your mouth? All right, he's still balling out.
187.
Can we talk about Jamison Crowder in his first 2 games in November?
Nope.
Why can we not talk about Jamison Crowder's 2 unbelievable games in November? That everybody
unbelievable.
They were believable.
Very good.
Were they unbelievable?
2 touchdowns. Yes, they were.
Came on here and you want to pump Jamison Crowder. All right, that's cool.
You basically just pump the poor man's Jamison Crowder and Julian Edelman, who hasn't nearly scored as many points.
Poor man's. Oh, poor man.
I didn't say.
I'll say this. I bet you. I would say that Jamison Crowder scores more points than Julian Edelman. Screw Chris Godwin. I would say that Jamison Crowder scores more points.
Open bar bet. Let's get it, Doug.
All right, slot receiver bets all over the place.
Slot receiver bet.
Trey Quinn scores 10 points rest of the season. Who wants it?
Trey Quinn. Remember when Trey Quinn was a thing?
Hunter Renfrow touchdowns 2. Who's got the over?
But from here to the end of the season,
yeah,
I'll take the over.
All right, Bosch.
Yeah, Hunter Renfrow probably has more touchdowns than Julian Edelman does by the end of the year.
Oh, damn.
Disagree there.
All right.
Didn't you just say Derek Carr's having a phenomenal year?
He's leading having a pretty good year. Derek Carr's having a much better year than people were expecting.
He has played
71%
consequence.
You know, a player that surprised me was Tyrell Williams coming out and being their number 1 guy. Him balling out like that. He's been phenomenal.
He had a good run.
Yeah. All right, Pete.
We're gonna get replaced a little bit. Sorry, Jerry Jeudy season.
Edelman slander.
Henry Ruggs is gonna be a Raider. Just book it. They like speed still. Al Davis's ghost is gonna take Ruggs.
Commissioner McGriff. Eckler with Jonathan Taylor next year will be a nice one too.
That would be a nice.
That would be nice.
He's not lasting that long.
It's funny. I talked about it a couple weeks ago. I've looked at a ton of mock drafts for 2020 from like industry experts, and not many of them have a running back going in the first round.
Our NFL team's getting
find that
smart.
shocking. Perhaps.
Well, here's the
but
thing.
I
There's
would
so
find
much
it shocking.
talent in the league
Yeah.
right now. I mean, when we talk about
It
guys
will
like
happen.
So
Josh
we're talking
Jacobs
about
goes in the
teams
first round.
that quote unquote need running backs. Like think about across the league. Like there's not a ton of teams that have glaring needs at that position. And I think teams aren't putting as much value into the position as well, like we've seen.
It's going to be a lot of running backs in the NFL that move too. So it's not just. I mean,
Oh, sure. I mean,
there's so much. There's just a glut of talent. They don't need to invest in the first round right there.
right. That's exactly right. I mean, I've seen like 3 or 4 wide receivers going in the first round in some of these mocks, but running back, it's been like the occasional one here and there, but that's it. And yeah, we'll have 1 or 2 probably go in the first round, but I mean, all this talent, everyone's thinking like, oh, these guys are going to get drafted super high, and then all of a sudden, like guys are going to slip into the 3rd round that we thought were going to be first round or early 2nd round picks. So that's why I'm kind of like,
I mean, there were so many
on the 2020 2nd round pick train.
Yeah.
In rookie drafts. As I just feel like a lot of it this year, like we were hyped up about a lot of players and then the landing spots weren't great, right? I think we might see some of the same thing happen next year.
This might be true here. What Kamish is saying about NFL teams don't want to spend first round draft capital unless you're in Seattle. I'm sure that or New England. I'm sure that teams
New
are
York
just frightened to spend on a running back for it to just hit.
Sonny Michel.
Yeah. I was going to say, too, about that draft last year, there were a lot of wide receivers drafted in the 2nd and 3rd round that we weren't like incredibly high on the I don't know, that we were incredibly high on that didn't land in the 1st round. So maybe you're right, Doug, that we're looking at this huge slew of great running backs that end up being all in the 2nd round, kind of like the receivers were in this draft.
Yeah. And it's going to be interesting because there's a glut of talent. How many guys go back to school? There's going to be a few guys that go back to school. I think that people are going to be like, damn it. So, I mean, when you look at the numbers of players that were that declared and how many got drafted, there was just a ton of players that like declared and didn't get drafted, and that sucks. But also, like, it's not like all these guys have great agents either, so they're like, yeah, just declare, whatever. Where if they stay in school for a year, they could probably be better off, but hey, whatever. And yes, I agree with Commissioner McGriff. 2020 could have 5 or 6 wide receivers in round 1.
Whew, man.
Getting back to that Corey Davis draft.
Oh,
Corey Davis draft with Corey Davis, John Ross, Mike Williams.
How about Mike Williams? Sorry.
But I think like DeAndre Swift is definitely going to be a 1st round draft pick. I think if he goes out and kills the combine like we think he's going to, I think Travis Etienne
Jonathan Taylor will too.
I think Travis Etienne has a shot at maybe getting into the back end of the 1st round, depending on how he does at the combine.
Kansas City Chiefs.
He's getting spicy too.
So I think there's easily 3 running backs you could see go in the 1st round, just because talent wins out. I think these teams
over under
and Chuba is just having a nasty season. He's probably
if Kansas City got Travis Etienne.
to,
that's a good one, right? Does that make him the 101 if that ended up happening?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
101.
The landing spot and the talent, it would make ATN the number 1. Unless
number 1.
Swift went to...
I'm not giving up on Damian Williams, okay?
What about Darwin Thompson, Gabe?
So, I mean, those are 3 prospects right there. I mean that you're happy if you had a bad dynasty season for.
I'm gonna go under on 3 running backs in the 1st round.
Under.
Yeah.
I'm with you, Doug.
That's playing it safe for sure.
Yeah.
I'll say push.
Focus on defense and offensive line and mix in some wide receivers.
I'll go push on the 3. I think
where's their
I think it'll be exactly 3.
How's the defense looking? How's the O-line? I know nothing.
O-line's not part of IDP. I know that.
It is very true.
Okay. We're on a good start here.
We're doing well. I have no idea about the IDP players. There's a few, obviously Young from Ohio State.
Some good linebackers.
There's a couple good safeties. I know from LSU they got a great safety.
From LSU is a beast.
Yeah. But I don't know if it's been like I thought last year's IDP class was better.
Right.
I think
that was
young-
kind of my take in general. That
I think
defense
last
was
year's
nuts.
IDP class was better.
Rat season, guys. Preston Brown got released for the Bengals. What do you think about that, Bosch?
Who?
Exactly. Let's go.
Kamish says some nasty D linemen in this draft.
Yeah, there is.
There was some nasty D linemen in last year's draft. I mean, hell, just Clemson's defensive line alone was like
like 3 first
was
round.
unbelievable. I don't know. I think last year's IDP class is better than this year's, in my personal opinion. But
Wow. You heard it here first on the Open Bar podcast. The Open Bar
Do I have to take my
podcast.
shirt off now?
Yes.
drink
Keep your
recipes
pants
over
on,
IDP.
but take your shirt off. Winter's kiss. Hello.
Sounds like a James Bond movie,
He kind of does.
right?
It's
James
definitely
Bond
it's
in
definitely the
Winter's
title of
Kiss.
this
Oh,
episode.
put those away.
Oh, wow.
You about to make me some eggnog, bro? What's
Come on,
Hey.
come on, come on Wednesday. We're only a half an hour away.
Broadcast sponsored by Deltron.
this podcast
Deltron, I
sponsored by Deltron?
I like that, Matt. I
What's
like
your
that.
AD push-ups today, partner?
Hey. All right. One last thing I want to ask for before I'm out of bullets. What, as it pertains to
Yeah, good
kind
luck
of the
with
rest of the season, I've got. Yeah. As it pertains to the rest of the season, obviously we're in week 11. So playoffs are what, three weeks away?
Playoffs?
4 weeks away. Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
Yeah, we win a game.
So at this point in your leagues that don't have trade deadlines, is this the time where you're trying to work toward getting in a position to get to those championships, or what part of the season now are you in, or what are you doing with your teams to try to help with this final push? What are you doing with your rosters?
I'm trying to make the final move. I actually spent a good amount of the day and during the podcast trying to figure out how to get a running back in one certain league and what I have to give up for him. So like I am really focusing now on trying to make that final run. And then in other leagues, I'm trying to identify the other teams that are trying to make that final run so that I can assist them in that final run.
Speaking of Bosch, holler at me in Kamikaze.
I'm trying.
Yes, you are. Are you making? Wait, no, I'm competing in that league.
No,
I think
saying
I'm
you
leading that
make-
league in points.
I'm seeing you are making the run.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying. I thought you were saying offer you a trade. I'm like, wait a second. I'm not trying to assist you in a run there. I'm pretty sure I'm doing well in that one. Took me a second to remember which league was which, but Kamikaze, that's the good one.
That's a good one.
I'm good there. Although Stafford, man, I need him to be healthy. He's got to be back.
And you just traded for him too.
Yes, I am very well aware. Thanks.
Reminder.
Yes,
That's the word.
I am aware.
I couldn't believe that he sat out. Like there is no way that was his decision.
He wanted to play. They
Like,
straight up told him no.
That dude's a psychopath. He plays through it all.
Yeah, that's why I think I'll be okay. I think he'll be back. If not, I'm gonna have to give up one of these pieces that I don't want to give up, and I'm gonna get gouged for a quarterback. And
He's going to crash to play.
sure as hell don't want to have to deal with that. Probably in that league. I wonder who has Fitzpatrick. Add him just
sprinkle some Fitz magic on it.
yeah.
It's a good thing.
You'll
It's a
definitely
great
win it.
thing.
Definitely need to rely more on Fitzpatrick than I already am now.
Oh.
Kamikaze Batman. Let's see where Corey is in this
You
league.
say Batman.
What else are you guys doing? What else are you guys doing with your teams?
You think darkness is your ally?
I was
Really
born
adopted it. I was born in it, molded by it. I didn't see the light until I was already a man. By then, it was nothing to me but blinding. The shadows betray you because they belong to me.
That's good stuff.
I had no idea Bane was, and that's the thing in that movie. I had no idea Bane was so well schooled. Like he went to Juilliard or something. Like what
I know.
Juilliard.
That's
So poetic.
that I climbed out of.
Yes.
Poetry.
Almost like somebody wrote his words for him.
Oh my God, Bane at a poetry slam, bro.
I smash accept.
The
Trade me for net. I give up Elliot.
the
I'm
funny
still
or
a man.
die Batman and
I win
Bane
the
one is by far the best.
They're all for hanging out there in Kamikaze to Svoboda. They Mike that I can't believe it. Smash accept.
I'm sorry, what'd you say? I was too busy laughing. What'd you say, Bosh?
David Johnson for Damian Williams and Alshon, and he didn't accept it. It's still sitting there.
Still there.
He would take that. Interesting.
David Johnson for Alshon?
Alshon and Damian Williams. Like David Johnson should be able to pull that, right?
Yeah.
You should.
He's not feeling it.
It's just the disappointment that he has.
Oh, how the mighty David Johnson has fallen.
I legitimately think you lose that trade.
I think I do too. I don't care if I'm losing the trade. I'm only playing for the next like 7 or 8. What are we, week 10? I'm playing for the next 6 weeks in that league. So go for it. I don't care. It gets me the
I
champion.
wondered what would break first, your spirit or your body.
Uh,
I'm gonna do a whole podcast in Bane voice one day.
you got to do it.
You do it.
You got to do it, man.
You can't
I
do
see
it.
that feeling. He's a wide receiver too. He's coming off the hamstring injury. He will not be effective. Kirk Cousins lacking deep ball. Can't find Stephon Diggs anymore. It was a nice run. Anywho, all right, I'll stop now. I could go on forever.
I could listen forever. Anywho, Gabe, I'm out of bullets. I'm out. I'm
He shot his wad.
tapped.
His Ari would get me Fitzpatrick.
He's drained his balls.
So J Mike, to answer your question in a non-Bane voice, just filling gaps. I just traded for like a tight end in a league that I'm contending in. Just filling gaps as best I can right now. Almost every league I have has a trade deadline, so I don't have ones that have an open one, but just trying to fill gaps if you're in contention. If you're not, just trying to sell as many pieces as possible that aren't kind of foundational pieces.
And as Bosch often says, try to build on what you're talking about. Get out of the middle, right? So
absolutely, either suck or be good. It actually brings up it's a good segue into something I've been seeing trending on Twitter a lot, and actually kind of was talking back and forth with the guy who is a commissioner of a league who says that they ban tanking in the league. So I wrote to him, like I answered the vote that he had, and then I wrote a comment just asking like, what's the punishment, right? This is like, part of this, like this league, it's a rule that you can't tank. So it's like, hey, what's the punishment if you get caught tanking, right? And how can you even justify if they're tanking or not? Which is what the vote was for. I guess the guy picked up Ryan Finley, but then started like a 4th string quarterback who's never played. And he ended up not starting for Detroit. And so they all thought he was like, this is clear tanking, right? So I was like, oh, what's the punishment? He's like, oh, you just moved down. You moved down a spot.
Is that who it was?
What's that?
Blau or something, like Blough. See the Detroit guy didn't start.
Sounds like blow to me.
I don't know. I didn't really read the names on the vote too much. I actually just voted that he wasn't tanking.
Yes,
just
the reason
because
I wear this mask is because I did too much blow.
And so he said that the punishment is they just move down a pick in the rookie draft. So if you're the 101, you get the 102. So I was like, well, that's not really that big of a punishment this year if you think about it, like based on the talent that's coming out.
101 to 201.
Like, so I guess the question to you guys is, like, tanking. I don't like the word tanking because I think you're strategically losing. Like, if you know you're not going to win,
like you're not starting Gavin Cook this week.
For sure, I'm strategically losing right now because I had a bad season. there's no point in me winning games and getting into the middle. I might as well just kind of fade into the darkness and try to get as high of a pick as possible because
yes. Now we're speaking my language.
Now we're talking.
Bosch, in the bar tab league that 4 out of 5 of us are in, the good news is, even though Doug and I combined for 9 wins, the everything's based off of potential points. So I can win all I want, doesn't matter, but like potential points wise, team's not very good. So still in a position to be able to leverage lots and lots of rookie auction dollars to go from there.
Bane, he just absolutely froze up my internet.
Yeah, I cut the fiber.
Too. I'm trying to get DJ in that league from Moda. That's probably why it's still sitting out there. But he just lost a couple of players this weekend, I think. So, and I'm trying to make it so he still wants to compete. That's what it was. Maybe that's why he hasn't accepted. I misspoke before. Sorry. Sorry to take it back to football.
Record straight.
Yeah.
No football, please.
I know.
Can
I get
I don't know.
Patrick?
What's the question?
A bag of fucking severed testicles.
Oh my God.
Slice and dice them.
That's nuts.
All right.
Okay, hold on. Okay.
Have we peaked?
Oh, long ago.
Long ago. Okay. Well, where am I? StreamYard. There you are. Okay. Hey guys. I was just off the screen for a while.
Did I kill J Mike? Where'd he go?
I think he did. He's not here. Oh boy. I'm just gonna have to start talking for a while. Hope he comes back. Is his audio here?
I think Bane just killed J Mike.
Dude,
Yeah.
Bane killed my internet, and now he kills J Mike's internet.
Yes, you're just another number for Bane.
What a good time. From winter drinks to things I'm not going to say twice because it's the naughty or nice season. To a little bit of football here and there. I still think that we don't know what to do with David Johnson, but boy, howdy. John Bosch is going to figure it out for us. Yeah, just leave him in someone's stocking. We're going to say our goodbyes at this point in time. We're going to give Trotta the opportunity to not only close himself, but introduce himself. Because he didn't really, I mean, yeah, like you came in, we gave you an intro, but you didn't really get to, flex your steam, bro. So feel free to just say what you want about yourself, like if you were about to come onto the show, and then also say something about yourself when you were about to leave the show.
All right, it's a lot of pressure, but I think I can do this. Hi, everybody. This is so great to be on the open bar coming on here. Name's Josh Trotta. You can find me on Twitter at Trotta23. Doug and I have a weekly podcast, Trophy Time Podcast, that comes on the air every Wednesday. You can find it on all of the major podcast players out there. Go follow us on Twitter at Trophy Time Pod, as well as our flagship Twitter account, our website, which Doug and I run, tffgurus.com. We've got articles that come out daily there. We go everything from redraft all the way through to dynasty, IDP. We've got weekly rankings, sitter start articles, waiver wire, trade articles, streaming. We have DFS with DraftKings as well, which come out on Friday. So go check out tffgurus.com. Follow us on Twitter at tffgurus. Yeah, that's pretty much what everything that I have on my side. It's been awesome being on the open bar. Gabe, thanks for giving us that intro music, which we just released last week for our Trophy Time podcast. That was awesome. Which sparked the conversation to get us onto the open bar. So Really, really appreciate that. Yeah, and I have 2 kids that never like to sleep, which then makes scheduling any recording of podcasts very, very difficult. So appreciate you guys' patience while I try to jump on here.
Thank you for jumping on. I meant to ask Doug earlier when we were first doing intros how long it's actually been, because it feels longer than normal.
Since I've been on the bar?
Yeah.
It's been a long. I'll tune in every so often, and I was like, you know what? It's been a while.
Yeah.
But I'm not the guy to be like, yo, get me on. Like I'm like, hey, like my time will come.
Thirsty. Yeah.
My time will come. And it's been the cadence has been longer than usual. So I thought I thought maybe like I had upset someone. But I keep on keeping on.
I don't know what it is. We have no rhyme or reason to.
We talked about getting a happy hour thing together with the 4 of us. And I mean, all you really need is Tim and I and Justin. I mean, Tyler can just whatever. But we talked about it, and then like just nothing came of it. And I was like, all right, well, that's fine. All right. But I'm here with my fellow guru.
Hey,
so I'm gonna pump all the same things that he pumps. Because we pump together.
We pump.
TFF pump.
TFF pump. But yeah,
we're synchronized pumpers.
Synchronized pumpers. I do host the Dynasty Happy Hour, so if you've tuned into that, thank you. And I also have a solo pod that comes out on Friday mornings. A little bit of a sit-start valuation. There's always some sleepers and stashes and some fun info on that. It's me talking for 45 minutes. It's Guru Game Guidance. Inspired by Evan Silva's old matchup columns. Which you can't find anymore for free. It's on establishthorun.com behind a paywall now. So that podcast, I pretty much break down every fantasy relevant player for every game and tell you what I think they're going to do this week. If they're a wide receiver 2, if they're a flex, should you bench them? Should you start them? Things of that nature. Should you go trade for them? Should you sell them? Here's a guy you should probably grab before waivers run, right? So you don't have to worry about blowing fab on a guy. Things like that. It's a fun podcast I do on my own. I bang it out in like 40, 45 minutes every Friday. So yeah, check that out. It's on the same pod feed as Trophy Time.
It's a great show.
I didn't know about that.
You should check it out. It's a lot of fun.
Agree. Yeah.
If you like to hear my voice, it's 45 minutes of me talking.
Maybe if it was in Bane's voice, then I'd tune in.
If there's enough requests out there to do a full-on Bane Guru Game Guidance in the spirit of Bane, I think I'd have the energy to pull it off.
I don't know. Like I kind of want to hear it, but I'm also like, how long could I last?
Right.
Well, here's what I do a lot of impressions, so I could always do like maybe one matchup in different voices.
Okay.
Like I could do the Boston accent, I could do Bane, I could do Kermit the Frog, I could do
Kermit.
I could do Kermit the Frog. I could do Kermit the Frog. I could do Rocky and Bullwinkle. I can do Barney. Like I could just do like all these different voices, and it would be a wild episode. I could probably do it one time, and that would be it because it would be friggin' exhausting, is what it would be like.
Who is that actor that just goes in and out of impressions like all day?
Frank Caliendo?
I mean, yeah, for sure, but seems like I guess
Jim Carrey,
Robin Williams, Robin Williams or Jim Carrey is kind of who I'm thinking, kind of just like in and out, not necessarily impressions, but just these like
characters.
Yeah, for sure. Yep. That'd be great. All right, well, shoot, gurus, thank you, and it's gonna have to happen sooner. Rather than later, as far as your next appearance on the open bar. We promise there's no malice. No malice
in Wonderland.
No, I felt no malice whatsoever. I was on the second ever open bar podcast. See? And then for a while I would comment in and just try to get you guys to laugh and just say the most ridiculous things possible while I'd just be sitting on my couch watching a game. And then life got in the way. And then here we are, right back into it.
John's laptop died. Bane cut the fiber on John's laptop, and it is dead. So he said, "Thanks for having me, fellas."
I love that I get the invite to come back on here, and then I'm like 25 minutes late. just fashionably late. Like just a total. I felt bad about it.
Well, in open bar time, you're early, so
This is true.
Maybe
you guys need to have a thing that comes on for
bad.
last call.
A thing that comes on,
like well, you know how like the lights always turn on at a bar for last call. Obviously, that would mean that we would all have to be in the dark in order for that to work.
The week.
Yeah, we should all start in the dark.
Yes. Slowly the lights start to get, everybody's lights come on at the end. We all look like trash. Our eyes are all bloodshot. You know, that's the worst part about like the end of when the bar is about to close and all of a sudden the girl you've been talking to for the last 2 hours, the lights come on. You're like, oh,
strobe light, honey.
Oh shit.
That's right. That's a Black Sheep reference for those
like,
out
God
there.
damn. Oh shit, my mom's calling. I gotta go.
J Mike, you that I just threw out a Black Sheep reference?
I caught it. Yep.
Hey, guess who's up?
You know I'm with it.
Oh, I definitely hear a crying baby.
Yep.
Did Bane make that baby cry?
Probably.
Yep.
You scared the baby.
Bane's on a roll tonight.
Doug.
All right, J Mike, what have you got? And shout out to Bosch. I know Doug, you mentioned it already, but shout out to Bosch for coming on with us tonight. He had to exit early due to Bane's, just whatever. What is
run,
it?
boys?
All right, Trotta, thank you so much. Appreciate you.
Absolutely. Hopefully we can do this again soon.
Indeed.
It will be. And whatever I was gonna say about Bosch. Thanks, man. Love you, man. J Mike, what have you got
Bosch.
to say?
Major shout out to Bosch, Glow Boy Geico, as you see there.
Glow Boy Guacamole.
Glow Boy Guac. Oh shoot! Man, this was fun tonight. Just grateful to do this again. Took a week off last week, but we are back. Things are great. I am physically hurting. I've got.
Is that why you had to take a little break there?
If you only knew the half. Anywho, just wild. Anywho. Again, to everyone in the chat, man, thank you all for lighting us up this evening. We had a good time with that. A lot of fun stuff between Trade Talks and Deltron being Deltron, doing his thing. Oh snap! Dominates in the building. What's up, Nate?
No,
very good. Nate, what's good, Nate? Hopefully it's Nate, not Robot Nate. Nathan, man, good to see you, Nate. And to our guests, obviously, the last man standing, Eddie Doug. Appreciate you, man. It's always good to chop it up with you, and I'm grateful to be able to do this. So thanks again. Bosch, Trotta, appreciate you all in the event that you hear this. And again, if you're listening to us on podcast form, we appreciate you. You can find us everywhere podcasts are: Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Google Play. All over the place. You can find us, as well as obviously our various endeavors, Gabe's intros that he drops on occasion for folks. Obviously the brand, one of the newest ones being for the good folks over at Trophy Time.
Yeah, buddy.
TFF Gurus, holla at them. And then of course, with my time over with the Dynasty Dummies, DFPN, at work, the only at work in town, Dummies Funhouse Podcast Network with the Dummy Blitz. Dropped that this morning, so that was fun to be able to get that done in the wee hours of last night. Just stretch run here for the playoffs. Excited to be able to get into it and do it and chop it up as we go. We will have a show next week. We've already got a full house. We've got guests lined up, so hopefully that stays as it is. Again, you can find me on Twitter at JMikeCheck, at JMICCheck. You can find the show's handle at the Open Bar remix. The Open Bar Pod, at the Open Bar Pod. I'm telling you, Gabe, I'm gone.
I'm with you.
And my main man,
hold up,
my main squeeze, my little bro, the host with the most, Bungie, Gene CMC, Mr. Gearing, if you're nasty, at FF Man Bun on Twitter. Gabe, take us.
Yeah, he's nasty.
Why are they nasty if you're calling me?
Yeah,
I was just thinking about Janet Jackson, and then your middle school. It was just weird. I was in a weird place, bro.
Speaking of what you put down there.
Thank you.
Oh yes, we're making it to the 2-hour mark
What have
once
you done for
again.
me lately?
I gets you every time, man. I gets you every time. Wonderful show. I don't have anything to add. You literally said everything that I sometimes say, I think. So
theopenbar.storeenvy.com.
We have a store.
Swag.
Hey, I got my Wubba Lubba Chub Chub t-shirt ready for Thursday. Okay, last primetime game of the year for the Browns. So I'm gonna go flex it at the Browns bar. Okay, give these guys some knowledge. All right. It's Wubba Lubba Chub Chub season, baby. Kareem Hunt, who? He's better with Kareem Hunt on the field. That's so great. We didn't talk about that, but yes. All right, whatever. So we do have a show next week. We'll be here. We lined up the guests already. We're gonna hype it up so high and mighty because we that's what we do, man. We tell you the guests in advance. You know, you always know what to look forward to on the open bar. It's gonna be next Tuesday. You know that much. It's gonna be 9:30 Eastern ish. My nog's gone, fellas.
You destroyed that nog. Well done, Gabe.
Look. I don't nog around, man. Well, I do, but I don't know. All right, yeah.
My winter's kiss.
We kiss goodbye. Kiss goodbye to everyone here, everyone listening in all forms. Thank you. We will see you next week.
Toodles.
Deuces.